Circuit Rider, Part Number 6. Bobby Jack had never seen a tornado, but now he was about to witness what they would call a Category 4 tornado in the 21st century. This was the first time Bobby Jack saw his horse become frightened during a storm, and he was trying to figure out the best thing to do to protect himself and his horse. He saw a deep gully that did not look like erosion, but a normal lay of the land. He guided his horse into this gully and forced his horse to lay down. Bobby Jack did the best thing he could do to keep the horse calm as the tornado passed near the gully. The sound was the most terrible thing Bobby Jack had ever heard. As quick as it came, it was quickly gone. The only thing now was the rain, and it was a torrent. Bobby Jack mounted his horse and rode back to the trail they were on when he saw the tornado. As Bobby Jack rounded a bend in the wagon road, which was more like a hiking trail, he saw a horse and buggy up ahead with one of the wheels missing. Off in the distance, he saw someone riding a horse bareback, and he assumed it was the horse that was pulling the buggy. When the distant rider turned around to look back, they saw Bobby Jack near the buggy and began to turn the horse and come back to the buggy's location. Bobby Jack was surprised to see a girl with what he would begin to call flaming red hair ride up to the wrecked buggy. She was completely drenched, and she looked like she had gone swimming with her clothes on. The first thing Bobby Jack noticed, other than her flaming red hair, was her hand resting on a pistol tucked into a large leather belt. Bobby Jack was quick to tell her to not draw her weapon because he was not a highwayman and would help her get the buggy fixed. He could tell the back right wheel was in bad shape, and it could not be repaired by anyone other than an expert that did that kind of work. My name is Bobby, but most people call me Bobby Jack. She smiled at Bobby Jack and said, My name is Sally, but my friends call me Sal. Then I will call you Sal, if you will call me Bobby. Sal smiled and said, That was a deal. The first thing Bobby noticed about Sal was her confidence. She knew she was in dire straits with her buggy, but she did not appear to be upset other than wanting to go to the next thing that should be accomplished to allow her to get back on her journey, which Bobby was about to find out was a surprise or divine intervention. Bobby asked her what was her destination, and she replied, Pleasant Valley, North Carolina. Bobby started to tell her that was where he was wanting to go, but he decided not to tell her that at this time. Bobby had a large wool blanket tied to his saddle, and he told Sal to cover herself with it. I believe a blacksmith is in the next town, and we will see if he can repair your buggy. If you like, you can share my saddle and lead your horse. As soon as Bobby told Sal this, she grabbed Bobby's arm and as quick as a horseman, she transferred from her horse to the back of Bobby's saddle. She wrapped her arms around Bobby's waist like they had been riding like this for many years. Bobby was entering a new world for him. He had so-called girlfriends in school, but he was never what some of the guys said was in love. Something was instantly at work in Bobby's mind when he saw Sal ride up to him with her hand on a pistol, ready to do battle with anyone who had bad intentions. Bobby inquired from the first person they met on the road as to the location of someone who could work on a buggy wheel. They were directed down a dirt road to a Big Al's blacksmith shop. Sal slid off the horse and went into the shop. Bobby tied the horses to a hitching post and followed Sal into the shop. The rain had stopped, and Bobby and Sal stood by the blacksmith fire to warm and dry off. Al, the blacksmith, had some wagon wheels in the back of his wagon. Bobby tied his and Sal's horse to the back of the wagon, and they boarded the wagon for the ride back to where Sal's buggy sat on the side of the road. Luck would have it, one of the wheels fit perfectly, and Al had the buggy repaired to perfection in a short while. Or it could be in a short while Al had the buggy repaired to perfection. And I'll say here, I make some grammatical mistakes. Some I know and some I probably don't know. But if I ever publish this in text form, I'll have it edited. But I only plan to present it as I'm presenting it on my YouTube Nothing But History. So anyway, luck would have it, one of the wheels fit perfect, and Al had the buggy repaired to perfection. Sal paid Al with a gold coin, but Bobby noticed Sal pull the coin from a bag that appeared to be heavy and full of gold coins. Al the blacksmith departed, thinking Bobby and Sal were traveling together. The way he was addressing Sal and Bobby, they both knew Al thought they were man and wife. He never asked if they were, so they did not tell him any different. Sal told Bobby it would be more comfortable traveling in the buggy, and he was welcome to travel to his destination with her. Then she asked him where he was going. This chance meeting was so unusual, Bobby did not want to tell her Pleasant Valley for the fear of her thinking he was lying. He said, Pleasant Valley, North Carolina. Sal did not change her expression when Bobby said this. She just looked into his eyes without saying anything. Then she said, That is a bald-faced lie, mister, because if you were from Pleasant Valley, I would know you. Then Bobby told her he was a preacher and was on a mission to preach the gospel to the folks in Pleasant Valley. When he said this, Sal began to laugh and say, You will never be able to get into the community, especially if you are a preacher man. If you want to ride with me in my buggy up to the turnpike that goes to Pleasant Valley, you're welcome, but you must agree to one thing, and that is to not be preaching or trying to convert me while we are together. Otherwise, I will be on my way, and you can keep on riding on your horse by yourself. Bobby instantly thought of the book of Judges and Delilah. Could this be his Delilah? I know you're not supposed to laugh at your own writing, but I can't help it. He did not want to lose the buggy ride and the companionship of Sal, so Bobby said, "Okay, I agree." Bobby let Sal do most of the talking because he wanted to get all the information he could get about Pleasant Valley. Bobby's destination was such a surprise to Sal that she began to talk about the place, and Bobby knew he was learning some valuable information that would help him gain entry into the community. Both he and Sal were surprised at how freely they could converse, and Sal began to tell Bobby the history of Pleasant Valley, or what Sal said was known as Slabtown to those that lived on the other side of the mountain.